tonight. A fourth person charged in last year's quadruple homicide on Carry the Kettle. Calls for warning lights at a church bridge rail crossing. And just how much money for parking fines has the city failed to collect?
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Saskatchewan RCMP continue to investigate a quadruple homicide on a Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation that happened a year ago. Ongoing police work has led to a fourth person being charged in connection with the case, this time as an accessory after the fact to murder. Sierra D'Souza Butts has the latest.
A full year after 4 people were killed on Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation, RCMP have charged a fourth person in connection to the quadruple homicide. Arrested on Wednesday by Saskatchewan RCMP's Homicide Investigation Unit, 67-year-old Lauren Elvis Hodamani is facing a charge of accessory after the fact to murder. Making his first court appearance in Fort Capel, it was ruled Hodamani will remain in police custody. Around 11 a.m. on February 4th, 2025, officers with File Hills First Nation Police Service responded to a report of sudden deaths at a home on Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation. Upon arriving, police discovered the bodies of 4 people at the home, leading Saskatchewan RCMP with the Major Crimes Unit taking control of the investigation. The victims, who police say died from gunshot wounds, were identified as 34-year-old Tracy Hodamani, Sheldon Quaisance, Shauna Faye, and Terry Jack. Throughout the 12-month investigation, police arrested a 15-year-old male youth, an 18-year-old, and a 17-year-old male youth, all who are facing 4 counts of first-degree murder. Hodamani was also ordered by the court to have a no-contact order with the 3 other people accused for the homicides, along with Crown witnesses. Hodamani will make his next court appearance on February 17th. The other 3 accused continue to make their way through the court system. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Fort Capel.
The man who was driving the semi that crashed into the Humboldt Broncos bus, killing 16 people and injuring 13, has lost his bid to stay in Canada. Jaskrat Singh Sidhu's lawyer says the Immigration and Refugee Board has rejected a request for Singh to stay in Canada as a refugee. Michael Green says the decision means the Canada Border Services Agency is now under a legal obligation to remove Sidhu from the country as soon as possible and deport him back to India. Green says he plans to ask for a deferral and that the board is still considering an application to restore Sidhu's permanent resident status. It argues he should be allowed to stay on humanitarian grounds because he has a child with complex medical issues. After a woman's tragic death shocked the town of Churchbridge, others are joining the push to make changes at the railway crossing where she was killed. Regina DeClute has details.
Elisa Thompson's life was cut short when her vehicle collided with a train in Churchbridge late last year. For Kathleen Jensen, Thompson's story is all too familiar.
I even still to this day will not cross that crossing.
Her ex-husband, David Holstein, her teenage son and his girlfriend were involved in a collision at the same crossing a few years ago. The teens survived, but David did not.
David did work for CN, and all his crew members said that it was drilled into them that you're cautious at railway crossings, and so that was something he too was very cautious about.
Residents say the sightlines are obstructed, the surface becomes icy, and there are no lights, making the crossing dangerous. In a statement to CTV News issued in January, CPKC said, Transport Canada has established the grade crossing regulations and standards. The sightlines at the Lovell Street crossing are compliant with those regulations. Thompson's widow recently launched a petition to call for a lighted crossing. In just a week, nearly 2,500 people have signed it. Local officials have taken notice.
Well, we're definitely looking at doing something. Something has to be done. This is a problem that's not going away, so we're going to have to somehow, work with all 3 levels of government as well as CP to find a solution.
Well, we're seeing more train traffic on that CP line. So we're seeing bigger trains, longer trains, and an increasing number of trains that are going over there. I know this crossing, when I looked at the transport safety data, I believe has approximately 650 vehicles cross that in a 24-hour windows.
The union representing CPKC engineers said Transport Canada should review its regulations, adding, such accidents create victims far beyond the immediate loss of life, as train crews are forced, powerless to witness a fatality. Many go on to struggle with PTSD or other serious mental health consequences as a result. After Holstein's fatal accident, the town did explore options for the crossing. Documents obtained by CTV News show that in 2023, the community was quoted $390,000 for a new lighted and armed crossing at Lovell Street.
We've had meetings with CP, and just the dollar figure for putting in lights is just out of reach for the towns.
Although the province is open to helping the community improve the crossing, others feel the cost of safety shouldn't fall entirely on the town.
You know, I find that it's absolutely baffling that a for-profit company like CP Rail thinks that they should be able to offset the hundreds of thousands of dollars of these lights to keep patrons safe on a small tax base of 800 people.
With nearly 2,500 signatures on the petition and counting, it's clear that the town is talking, but many are wondering if anybody is listening. Regina, CTV News, Churchbridge.
Well, fresh off one of its largest property tax increases, the city says one revenue source is way behind in collection. Parking tickets, millions in fines have gone unpaid. As Donovan Mace explains, it comes as penalties are about to get stiffer.
Regina drivers have racked up a huge bill for their parking tickets.
The current outstanding parking ticket revenue is approximately $7 million. Our main mode of collection is through a collection agency.
The numbers revealed during December's budget deliberations when council passed the city's largest single-year property tax hike ever. As they looked for cost savings, cuts, and efficiencies, it also increased fees and fines for parking.
If we are going to raise our fees on transportation, we need to raise our fees on transportation on parking and vehicles as well as we are on transit.
Parking fares are about to go up 50 cents from $2 an hour to $2.50, while the penalty for tickets will go up a flat rate of $10, meaning a standard $30 ticket for not plugging a meter will now be $40. All this while councillors also approving the removal of physical meters in the downtown, moving to a fully cashless payment system. Now, the city believes the increases will lead to more revenue, but some are wondering how they can make this money back.
I don't know what other provinces do. Do other provinces have it where it's when you renew your license that if you have an outstanding ticket or fine?
Requests or dialogue has happened on many occasions with SGI, and they have always turned us down. So unless they were directed at some level by their political masters to at least give this consideration, we just keep hitting a brick wall on this.
SGI says provincial legislation would need to be amended to allow it to enforce unpaid fines, an idea not being considered at this time. Now, the changes, including fare and fine increases and the removal of parking meters, are still subject to council's bylaw approval, and they are expected to be in effect April 1st. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Well, finding a family doctor has become a challenge for many in Saskatchewan. A new survey is showing just how big of a challenge it can be, not just to have a doctor, but to be able to see a physician on a timely basis. Ellie Mandrick has more.
A recent poll conducted by Angus Reid has deemed Saskatchewan as the most difficult province to access a family doctor in Canada. Saskatoon residents who spoke with CTV say they're aware of how challenging it can be to find a doctor.
Just recently, about a year and a half, but prior to that, we were without a doctor for about a year.
We used to, but we're currently looking for one right now.
And how long have you been looking?
Probably like a couple of months.
For some who do have a family doctor, that doesn't necessarily mean their whole family also has access.
My parents have had a harder time about it. They've been looking for a family doctor for a long time and working with a health practitioner to try to get one.
How long have they been looking?
For a few years now.
The poll showed 50% of Canadians either don't have a family doctor or struggle to see their family doctor. And within Saskatchewan, 22% of residents don't have a doctor, with 41% who reported having difficulty accessing their own doctor. The official opposition Coalition questioning the provincial government's promise to ensure that everyone has access to a primary health care provider by the end of 2028.
We see different things being tried in different jurisdictions, innovation, attempts to change to alternative compensation models. There is nothing happening here. And we have a government that is committed to getting everyone access to a family doctor by 2028, and yet we are moving in the opposite direction. Things are getting worse.
But in a statement, the Health Ministry reaffirmed that 2028 commitment. It added that the province is training more doctors with more undergraduate seats at the U of S and expanding the use of nurse practitioners through additional funding within the Health Authority, adding, quote, Saskatchewan has one of the best physician compensation rates in the country, including special incentives for doctors in rural practice. The number of licensed physicians in Saskatchewan increased 80% between 2007 and 2025, an increase of 1,400 doctors. This is a 62% increase in general practitioners and 103% increase in specialists. For those who still have trouble finding a family doctor, help is needed soon.
Because she hasn't had a family doctor in so long, just going to different folks, having to keep re-explaining things has always been really tough, and so I think she neglects some of her health because of it.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, Sabine joins us for our first look at weather, showing off the Indigenous jersey the Pats will be wearing this weekend.
I'm going to try and turn on my Apple box real quick. It's a beautiful jersey that the Pats will be wearing Saturday night in their Indigenous celebration game as they take on the Calgary Hitmen at the Brandt Centre. Lee, so they thankfully sent over one of the jerseys, and these are the exact ones that you can actually, well, I don't want to say this is the exact one, but players will be donning these that you can bid on to win in an auction after the game. So I'll show it off a little more during my main weather coming up in just a bit. But in terms of today, we saw some beautiful temperatures across southern Saskatchewan. In Regina, warmed up to 5 degrees. The average is about -8, so well above the average. And that's a theme that's going to continue as we head into the weekend. We may see a little dip heading into tomorrow around 0, perhaps just below 0, but we're going to continue to see sunshine sticking around and temperatures remaining in this beautiful range. Taking a look at our current temperatures, especially in Maple Creek, 12 degrees right now. The north is still dealing with a little bit cooler temperatures and the wind chill value, but most of the province isn't, and that is more of what I will talk about in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. Thank goodness they gave you the extra small jersey. Spring-like weather is moving into Saskatchewan with temperatures climbing well above seasonal. And while the warm-up is appreciated by most, it's having an impact on things like flooding, roads, and winter activities. Stacey Hine has more.
Spring-like weather is being felt across much of the province. Environment Canada says an upper-level ridge is pushing warm Pacific air from the BC coast across the prairies, driving daytime highs above 0.
So that's fairly anomalously warm for this time of year, a good about 10 to 15 degrees above normal.
The warmer weather is also putting a pause on some winter activities. The East College Community Park Association has closed its outdoor rink due to rising temperatures. Meanwhile, potholes are beginning to appear on city streets.
Pretty much all over Saskatchewan, I noticed that there is a lot of potholes.
The city of Saskatoon is asking drivers to use its Report a Pothole map to report any issues online. It says crews will use a cold mix to repair potholes where required on priority streets. The city adds crews are monitoring conditions, removing loose snow and slush where needed, and continuing grading and snow removal, but says work may be paused if there's significant melt. One Saskatoon resident says the biggest concern will come when temperatures drop again.
I'm concerned about what the city's going to be like once this starts to go ahead and freeze. That's going to be the problem.
Environment Canada says this midwinter thaw won't last.
It feels like spring. Enjoy it while it lasts, but it's not guaranteed to be like this for over the next several months.
Next week is forecasted to cool slightly, but temperatures are expected to still remain a few degrees above seasonal. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Regina YWCA is offering a new type of housing for youth leaving the care of social services. It's an apartment building with on-site supports to ease the transition to living on their own. Wayne Mantiga has the details.
It's the first housing complex of its kind in southern Saskatchewan. Close to 24 young people will share apartments in this Regina building. It's for youth aged 16 to 24 who are old enough to leave the care of social services. It will be operated by the YWCA.
We all know how when you move to a certain age, you still need the support of those people around you, so it's really a community of care.
The housing concept was recommended by the Regina Youth Advisory Council, whose members have lived experience in care. Participants will be taught life skills through on-site mentorship. Amy Louise Roberts believes it would have helped her when she made the transition to living on her own.
I guess for me it was a matter of not feeling like I knew what I was doing when I was aging out and becoming an adult. I didn't really understand my responsibilities. I didn't understand the supports I had. I didn't really know how to adult.
The building features shared accommodations with monthly rent set at $435 per person. It will be covered by social services until participants get established.
We need to be able to have a place for some of those youth who aren't ready to be fully independent to go, and this is one of those places.
The government feels that Transition Help Now will ensure that those leaving government care have a firm foundation for independent living. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Yorkton City Council's approved the 2026 budget, but not everyone is happy. The total increase for the year will be 3.85%, and the figure comes from a 2.75% operational and a 1.1% capital increase. And the city estimates that the impact to the average household will be about $7.60 more per month. The city's director of finance told CTV News that the biggest share will go towards infrastructure development and that residents can expect more road construction in the summer. Now, the Yorkton Chamber of Commerce had some concerns, pointing out $25,000 for gym equipment. The city's finance director says it is more cost efficient than providing its employees with monthly memberships, adding that this also includes contributions from CUPE.
We kept it to basics. There's nothing flashy in this. It's all looking at what the citizens use, what they need. They need clean drinking water. They need roads that aren't falling apart. They need sidewalks that aren't crumbling. And this takes steps in the direction to address that. So this year we're going to be doing more, and next year we'll be doing even more.
City of Yorkton is open to the public's feedback, which you can submit on the city's website. Still ahead, Liberals are skeptical a Conservative MP made progress during trade talks in Washington. And an official end to the EV mandate in Canada, but a return of the rebate. Questions are being asked today about who Conservative MP Jamil Jivani chatted with in Washington on his solo mission to the U.S. Capitol and whether it was helpful in any way. Mike LeCouture has more on the meetings and the message that he came back with.
The proof is in the pudding.
The freestyle approach, I don't think serves us as a country.
Liberal cabinet ministers clearly skeptical that Conservative Jamil Jivani is making any progress on Canada-U.S. relations. That's despite a social media post from the Toronto area MP saying he had productive meetings with the White House and State Department, adding, "The president asked me to pass along a message. Tell Canadians I love them."
I'm here in Washington, D.C., where I've been having some very productive, promising, and positive conversations.
It's unclear if Jivani met with President Donald Trump or his longtime friend, Vice President J.D. Vance.
No matter if it's a governor, a senator, or congresspeople, or part of the administration, I think we have to continue on with the pressure. So the more people that can get down there and have a conversation, all the power to you.
It can only serve to undermine the efforts overall on behalf of the people of Canada.
This former advisor to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Canada-U.S. relations is concerned about Jivani's visit, and she says he needs to debrief when he returns.
We will need to make sure that ideally Mr. Jivani is feeding back some of the limited information that perhaps he has procured from his conversations with Americans back to our embassy in Washington, back to other key representatives.
It comes as former Prime Minister Stephen Harper is in Ottawa preaching a stronger stance in dealing with the U.S.
We cannot allow the obvious attempt to move Canadian manufacturing south of the border. One-way tariffs introduced by the U.S. must be reciprocated.
Well, Canada had removed a number of counter tariffs on the U.S. during the summer. Asked about Harper's suggestion, the finance minister said he thinks Canada has been playing its cards very well. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, they promised Winnipeggers they could own the sky, but an ambitious condo development never got off the ground. Now the two developers behind them, one of them involved in the Capitol Point fiasco here in Regina, are going to jail for fraud.
They make sure that they have something to point at that is okay first before they go in for the big money and take everybody down.
Now, this was where a 45-story residential building billed as the tallest tower between Toronto and Calgary was supposed to be. However, an Ontario court has sentenced Jared Rathor and Vince Petroza to 5 years in prison, fines of more than $12 million each. The duo found guilty of misrepresenting property values and defrauding almost 800 investors out of more than $33 million connected to that project and another in Barrie, Ontario. The Prime Minister has unveiled a new national auto strategy. It includes an end to the electric vehicle mandate, but has the return of EV rebates. Rachel Aiello has more.
A national auto strategy for the next generation. Today, the government unveiled a 5-pillar and multi-billion-dollar plan to protect jobs and reward companies making vehicles in Canada.
The future of the auto industry is increasingly electric and connected. And so to remain competitive and to realize our potential, we must develop the entire value chain for next generation vehicles.
To help Canadians afford them, starting February 16th, consumers who purchase electric vehicles will be eligible for a new rebate. The government is offering purchase or lease incentives of up to $5,000 for fully electric vehicles and up to $2,500 for plug-in hybrid models. There will be no price cap on Canadian-made cars, and only models coming from countries Canada has a free trade deal with will qualify if they cost less than $50,000. That means the rebate won't apply to Chinese EVs.
Today's announcement will directly support workers here in Ontario and across Canada.
Carney is also replacing the contentious EV sales mandate with new emission standards for future models, easing some of the pressure automakers are under.
This puts us on a path to greater electrification while giving industry the flexibility it needs during a very difficult time for the economy and for the sector.
Hopefully we can get to a point where we continue to be tariff-free.
And car dealers say they're ready to stock up.
It's certainly encouraging that we'll be able to pass on some savings directly to the consumer, especially in a time of higher prices on really everything.
Beyond affordability, this country's lacking EV infrastructure remains a barrier to Canadians pulling the plug on gas-powered vehicles. And so today, Carney also promised $1.5 billion to build up this country's roadside charging network. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Police in Arizona provided an update today on the mysterious disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. That is the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host, Savannah Guthrie.
I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
The Pima County Sheriff says blood found on Nancy Guthrie's porch has been confirmed to be hers. No suspects identified, but the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information that leads to her recovery or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. Coming up, a new cafe is giving art lovers something else to enjoy while visiting the gallery.
Countdown is on to Super Bowl 60. Friday on your morning, we're teeing up the clash between the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots with our friends from TSN.
All right, welcome back. Just a quick note. I am wearing this jersey just to show you that these are the jerseys that the Pats will be playing at their game on Saturday against the Calgary Hitmen, and they are celebrating. It's a special edition jersey recognizing and celebrating Indigenous culture. So if you want to, I believe the auctions are open now. So if you head over to the Pats website, you can start bidding on the jersey of your choice, and they will be designed just like this. So head over to the Pats website to find out more information. I can give you the information about the weather. 4 degrees is what we're sitting at right now in Regina. Warmed up to 5 late this afternoon. Did see the winds also picking up a little, gusting into the 40s late this afternoon. Currently no wind gusts, just sitting at 30. And I don't really have much to show you on the radar satellite. We didn't really deal with much active weather coming through parts of southern Saskatchewan. You can see a bit of light cloud cover that did come through from the northwest down into parts of the parkland. We did earlier this morning see some precipitation coming through as well, and it's not the end of the precipitation because we do have more coming. But heading into tonight and to tomorrow morning, it's just mostly cloud cover that we'll be dealing with, especially in central southern Saskatchewan. As we continue throughout the day on Friday, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions with little pockets of sunshine, and then by Saturday you can see the southwest starts to clear Saturday morning, and we'll see more of that sunshine arrive. But by Sunday, it's a different story because you can see that we do have more precipitation making its way through. Now, as of right now, it does look like it will make its way through parts of central Saskatchewan, a little down into southern Saskatchewan, but mostly right now it's looking like rain and a little bit of freezing rain. Saskatoon for sure will be seeing some of this come into Sunday. Regina, Swift Current, Maple Creek, as of right now, it does not look like we'll be seeing that precipitation. It's just mostly cloudy conditions that we'll be dealing with heading into Sunday and into Monday. For the north tonight or tomorrow, we will see some of that precipitation in the form of snow for La Loche and L'Orange, but temperatures still above seasonal for daytime highs. And then by Lloydminster, above 0 at 1 degree, -7 for Prince Albert. 0 for North Battleford and Saskatoon. Tomorrow, Saskatoon seeing a little bit more sunshine. Yorkton -9, mostly cloudy conditions there. Still going strong in Maple Creek. 12 degrees is the expected daytime high tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. 8 for Swift Current. Of course, all these temperatures above 0. 2 for Moose Jaw, cloudy conditions tomorrow. And -1 for Weyburn and Estevan tomorrow, seeing some cloudier conditions. And fog for Assiniboia with +3 as the expected daytime high. So what is Regina looking like? Well, tonight, we will dip below 0, but still much warmer than the average low of about -21. -6, winds expected to pick up, gusting up to 50 overnight. Tomorrow, -1 is the expected daytime high with the winds at about 35 kilometers an hour. So taking a look at what's to come, though, we're still looking at some pretty good days ahead in the next 7 days especially. So again, -1, mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Saturday, the sunshine returns. 4 degrees is the expected high. By Sunday, +6. A mix of sun and cloud, and then by Monday we will see more cloud cover rolling in. Of course, that is around the time that we're seeing that rain and freezing rain coming through parts of central Saskatchewan as well. So Monday, cloudy, +1 is the expected high. -2 Tuesday, mostly cloudy. -1 on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud, and Thursday the sun returns with full force and 0 is the expected high. And also just wanting to point out that the lows are still going to be looking quite warmer than what the average lows are for this time of year as well. So another 7 days ahead, looking at some not much warmer than now, but warmer conditions continuing above seasonal for sure. So continuing to be quite slushy outside.
Quite slushy for sure. And just once again, we've talked about it before, clear those drains to make sure the flooding doesn't happen, not just on the street, but in your property as well.
And we've been hearing stories about that already from just people we know that they're dealing with some flooding situations. So yeah, good reminder, Lee.
All right, thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, art is not the only thing the Mackenzie Gallery in Regina can offer. A new cafe with French cuisine opened up this week in the TC Douglas building. Jacob Carr has the details about the savory flavors that a local couple is bringing to the table.
A staple of any good French bistro is a croissant, and Café Français has them in spades. They officially opened this week at the Mackenzie Art Gallery, a second location for the Regina restaurant, as co-owner Ranjan Arora says business is booming.
We always see we get so busy coming up there that we have to refuse the tables where people are not happy with it, and they always feel like we should either expand a seating area or have another location.
What would you like to have? Could I have a matcha latte, please?
Whether it's a curated concoction like a matcha latte or a fresh croissant to go with a cup of coffee, customers at Café Français are giving positive reviews.
I did have a croissant, and I was really impressed with that fresh baked a couple of hours ago, and really light, really nice and buttery, flavorful, fresh, and the coffee is very, very good.
Black is hoping for the cafe's success as Regina does not have a bevy of options for French cuisine. Mackenzie Art Gallery Executive Director and CEO John Hampton wants the bistro to be a relaxing hangout spot for all.
I hope that everybody in the region, whether it's people in the building that work with the government, that live across the street or down here in the South End, can use it as a community hub.
Aurora and his wife and co-owner of the cafe, Nana Kumar, are grateful for the support they have received from the community since opening their first location 12 years ago.
We are really proud that being as immigrants, like Canadian people have supported us, and made us the part of the family here. That's an honor, and we are really pleased to serve everybody.
So whether it's a quiche you're after, or just a fresh cup of espresso, Café Francais has you covered. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, celebrating the past at the Luther Invitational Tournament. Winter Olympics have not even officially opened yet, and there are setbacks already for some of Canada's athletes. Of course, Regina's Mark McMorris had to pull out of the big air snowboarding competition while the women's hockey game was postponed. Heather Butts has more.
An alarming image of Mark McMorris following a crash yesterday in training. The 32-year-old three-time Olympic medalist confirming he hit his head and will not compete in the big air competition. In a statement, McMorris said, "Fortunately, things are looking good for slopestyle, so I'm staying positive and shifting my focus there." Snowboarder Tess Critchlow has already had to withdraw due to injury, and Canada has had to swap out athletes in men's hockey and figure skating in the team event because of injury.
For those who've been injured and unable to compete, I feel for them first and foremost, and therefore give them as much support to see if they can compete in the case of those where it's questionable.
Facing these early obstacles, there's also questions over how the Olympic team is preparing to handle competing against the Americans at a time of heightened tensions between the countries.
The rivalry with the United States is one that's decades and decades old in sport, and yet I think there's a little bit more riding on it.
That rivalry most anticipated on the ice, where it will be a monumental year for hockey, marking the return of NHL players in the men's tournament for the first time since 2014. Combine that with the first winter game since the Professional Women's Hockey League launched, putting a spotlight on an extraordinary depth of international talent.
This is an immensely talented team, and they're in their final preparations. And very soon we will see them walking into opening ceremonies to show the world just what Canadian excellence looks like.
While Team Canada battles injuries, Finland is dealing with illness. The two countries were supposed to face off today in women's hockey, but the game was postponed as the Finns battle the norovirus. Team Canada's first game will now be against Switzerland on Saturday. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
Also mixed curling this afternoon, Canada's Jacqueline Peterman and Brent Gallant. They beat an Italian team that hadn't lost a game since they partnered together. 7-2 was the final. Canada also won their earlier game versus Norway. That improves their record to 3-0, so they're looking pretty good to start. They'll play the United States tomorrow. Back here at home, WHL, Moose Jaw Warriors continue to hit the win column, notching their third straight victory last night in Swift Current.
Warriors making their way around the outside. Lejeune now behind the net. Lejeune tries to jam it in. Rebound comes out, and the Warriors score.
Landon McFadden had a goal and 2 assists. The Warriors scored 3 goals in the second period. That knocked off the Swift Current Broncos 5-3. Warriors now 4 points up on Red Deer for 7th in the conference. The Broncos, last in the league, are 4 points back of Lethbridge. The 72nd Luther Invitational Tournament is underway in Regina, bringing in teams from all across the prairies. As Damian Smith tells us, the event is well known for its exciting atmosphere and its tribute to the past.
Under the watchful eyes of basketball royalty, the next generation hits the court for the 72nd Luther Invitational Tournament.
It's the energy. It's the kids, it's the players, it's the sportsmanship.
While the tournament is known for its atmosphere, it's all run by the students, with everyone buying in.
For our end of yearbook survey, they do a survey of what's the favorite event, and every single year that we've been here, it's been LIT. So I'd say it's probably the most exciting event that we have at our school.
While there are several Regina schools participating, the tournament draws teams from Saskatoon, Alberta, and Manitoba, bringing in plenty of high-caliber competition.
I think we do a really good job of, keeping the caliber of the tournament high, but also, regardless of where our home teams are skill-wise that year, we do a really good job of honoring our teams.
It's also a chance for alumni to reminisce on history.
The players that are coming back as coaches with some of these teams are also, it's generational.
This year, the school is honoring the 2006 Luther men's team, which won the LIT title 20 years ago. For the players returning to the school, it brings back plenty of memories.
Yeah, I remember I hit one corner three. That was a big one, kind of falling back in the stands. And then the number one memory is walking up the court as the time wound down to 0 and the entire stadium just all fled onto the court.
And one plays were the big part of my game because I was always done underneath the basket.
It was the most amazing environment and atmosphere I've ever been a part of. A flood of memories coming back, and it was a great experience, great time.
The 16-team tournament will wrap up on Saturday between the men's basketball championship game at 8 p.m. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Coming up, Saskabilities reveals their new interactive tool at Yorkton.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Mostly looking at cloudy conditions for most of rural Saskatchewan. Temperatures still looking at around seasonal, if not above seasonal and above 0. So areas like Hudson Bay will still see within seasonal range of -11 as a daytime high. Mostly cloudy conditions, but the more we get into western Saskatchewan, those are the temperatures we'll see climbing above 0. 3 degrees for Kindersley, fog expected there. 0 for Lloydminster, 1 for Outlook. 0 also for Watrous with a mix of sun and cloud, and -6 for Wynyard with mostly cloudy conditions. Meanwhile, Meadow Lake, -2 and cloudy conditions there. When we get closer to the southern border, depending on where we are, we'll see some warmer temperatures, like 12 degrees expected for Maple Creek with a mix of sun and cloud, 6 and cloudy for Leader, 3 for Assiniboia, fog, and 3 for Rockland. And over in the southeast, we drop below 0, -4 for Carlisle, -5 for Broadview, -9 for Kenora, and Lumsden and Pilot Butte, a mix of sun and cloud, and -1. If we take a closer look at Sturgis, located about 90 kilometers north of Yorkton, and where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel, -10 is the expected high for Sturgis tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud with a wind chill of -17. Looking at staying pretty consistent throughout the day. The low is looking like it'll be -10 as well, with a wind chill of -19.
After a year of fundraising, Saskabilities in Yorkton introduced its new multi-ball wall. The device sounds like it is a giant interactive screen, sensors that track movement, and it's inclusive because it can be adapted to all types of abilities. On Wednesday, Saskabilities hosted a demo session on nighttime to introduce the multi-ball wall to the public. Members of the Yorkton branch took turns. You could throw balls, play quizzes, and touch the wall to do various other games. Saskabilities says there are some members who displayed remarkable skill gains in just a few days using the wall. The idea to install the screen came from Yorkton Toyota, one of the sponsors. The device came all the way from Germany and will be available for the community, such as Saskability members, children as well that are living with disabilities, and seniors.
Being able to come here and have a new skill, a new hobby, a new recreational interest that they can develop and work on and look forward to, that increases just self-efficacy and quality of life because you look forward to it and you're happy about what you're doing.
Saskabilities says there's already interest from beyond their own organization. All right, let's take a look at canola street price. It's up 10 cents to $613, 43 cents per ton. Well, the futures price is up $4.80 to $663 per ton. Amber Durham wheat stays the same, $278, 59 cents per ton. Red spring wheat actually dropped 29 cents to $255, 59 cents per ton. Feed barley stays the same, $232, 1 cent per ton, while flax is $650, 54 cents per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. On to markets, the TSX went down 573 points. Dow Jones also dropped by 592 points. How about that Canadian dollar? Well, it dropped a little bit, more than 1/10 of a cent. It's still over 73, though, cents U.S. It's 73.02 cents U.S. Gold down. After always going up, it dropped a decent amount, $185.88. West Texas Intermediate crude down $1.85, though Western Canadian Select crude jumped up by $1.56. So has that changed gas prices in Regina? It unfortunately has. If you didn't gas up, now the price at the pump mainly is $1.29.9 cents per liter.
Once again, it is the amount of money being spent on building out AI capacity that is eye-popping. Analysts had estimated Amazon would spend about $145 billion this year on things like data centers, chips, and other equipment. But the company says it will be closer to $200 billion. Amazon says it expects strong return on these investments in the long term, but investors still have concerns. Amazon stock started dropping in after-hours trading. Those concerns and others led to another day of deep losses in tech stocks on the markets today. Investors are spooked about the future of software, with more AI tools being introduced that could eliminate the need for it. Spot silver also sank today 15%. Gold was also down, which weighed on the TSX. Barrick Mining will spin off its North American gold assets in a new publicly listed company. Barrick is the world's second biggest gold producer. It has assets in 17 countries. But under the new plan, mines in Nevada and the Dominican Republic will be separated as a new company. Today, Barrick also named Mark Hill as the new president and chief executive. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Our newscast, the Sabine birthday celebration. Oh, we're not airing that. Oh.
No, that's not being aired because there is nothing happening except book club.
There you go. It's a way to celebrate your birthday. Muppet Show is back with the first episode available today, Disney Plus.
We are so excited to be back where it all started and then ended and then is maybe starting again depending on how tonight goes.
I've been burned before.
Oh my gosh, I love it. A star-studded cast, Kermit, Miss Piggy, and many more iconic Jim Henson characters are back for the show. It also features appearances from the special's executive producers Sabrina Carpenter and Seth Rogen, as well as Maya Rudolph. The release comes 50 years after the debut of the original Muppet Show in 1976. We were just reminiscing how great the show was when we were younger.
But will it be just as funny as
I think so.
Okay, we'll see. As he prepares to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny has made a high-profile deal in the world of podcasting.
Bad Bunny is a co-owner of an athlete management agency dedicated to boosting Latin American athletes. That company, Rimas Sports, has now reached a deal with iHeartMedia to create podcasts and other content. It's set to launch with podcasts featuring MLB Comeback Player of the Year, the Atlanta Braves, Ronald
Acuna Jr.
Thank you.
He had a good season.
Bad Bunny is set to take the stage at Sunday's halftime show in Santa Clara, California, 1 week after winning the Grammy for Album of the Year.
And of course, you can watch that game right here on CTV, which hopefully won't be a blowout. So it's your birthday. I'll let you have the last word.
9, 8, 7, 6. Thank you for watching.
This is what I deal with.
Oh, this is what he... Okay.